What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Lions Den podcast. Again, I think the last one was like, I don't know, 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago with Hattie and them. We just haven't had a guest, and I've been trying to figure out who to bring on. So I figured I'm going to do one with Abby, my new girlfriend. But here, this is my dad. This is you could say Tim. He's my dad.
Daddy Banks, man. It's Daddy Banks.
Yeah, so.
That's Tim.
Yeah, so I figured I'd bring him on the podcast as he's pretty involved in my life. So I thought it'd be a good guest. I think a lot of you guys are pretty invested, at least the ones who watch like this podcast now. A lot of you guys are pretty invested into my life, which is pretty cool. So my dad's been a big part of my life, so it'd be cool to run a podcast with him. A lot of you guys always ask why I am the person I am today, and I attribute a lot of it to my dad. So I was gonna get and start asking you questions basically. So you can kind of give your upbringing. So where are you from?
My upbringing, let's see, Springfield, Virginia. Spent a lot of my time there, and also down on the farm in Lynchburg. Very fortunate, had a really good upbringing. My mom and dad were awesome. I got an older brother and sister, and I grew up in the neighborhood that everybody wanted to grow up in.
Yeah.
Lots of fun, kids running around, hide and go seek till dark, after dark, and it's the old saying, when the lights come on, street lights come on, you better get your butt home. That was kind of it.
Yeah, so like the suburbs.
Oh, way.
And cool. I would say, I don't know, I was going to try to, some of the stories I guess you've told me to show like the person you are and everything. So you grew up in Springfield.
Yep.
Good mom and dad. Very.
Awesome.
People ask like where my faith came from, which pretty much came from you, and your faith came from your mom and dad.
Yeah, my mom was a preacher.
Yeah. What was her the branch again? The
Assemblies of God preacher.
So. Okay, because she would remember we talked about speaking in tongues and stuff.
Oh yeah,
like
she
that?
did that. Yeah, she did that.
Yeah, which is really interesting. Which is like a cool topic to talk about, I guess, on like the Christianity stuff. We can get about that later in the podcast, but let's do a little bit more of your upbringing. So we have a farm in Virginia, out in Lynchburg.
Love it there.
Yeah, so that's where you grew up a lot, and you're there.
Yep.
You got an older brother, Uncle David.
Yep, he's cool.
And then
my older sister,
Judy. Yeah.
Yep, she's cool too.
She's went through few breast cancer treatments and everything.
She's a real survivor.
Yeah, she had it twice?
Yeah, a couple times.
Crazy. And then your mother passed away when you were 19?
19 years old.
To breast cancer.
Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah. Can you give me the story on that again? Which was, at least when I remember you told me that you were out at a bar, right? This is like the night it happened?
Oh, I don't like talking about that, man.
No?
That was a very difficult time in my life.
I know, but I feel like it was a good. The way you explained it to me was like almost like you felt like a calling back home, right?
Yeah, I'll give you the short version, but growing up, being a very religious household, drinking wasn't something that we really did. We didn't at all. But I was going through a tough time. My mom being sick, and so I found my way to trying to. Forget about it by going to the bars sometime, and I remember it was a Sunday night, and she was pretty bad off. She was at home in a coma, and we knew she wasn't going to make it very long. And I was out, and I don't know, man. Something told me to go home. Yeah. It was like a light went off, and it's like somebody almost whispered in my ear to get home now.
You went home,
and I drove home, and the whole way home I was like, oh, God, please don't let my mom be dead. I'm going to get there, she's going to be dead. And I was someplace I shouldn't have been. And I could, when I walked in the house, the whole way home I was praying that, please don't let her die. Let her be there, let her be alive. And I never would accept her dying.
Yeah.
Because being 19 years old, I was very close to my mom and dad. And I wouldn't accept her passing. And when I walked in the door, I could hear her breathing in her bedroom. We had a hospital bed in there. My dad was in the regular bed, and I could hear her breathing. And when I walked in the door, I was like, "Thank God."
You were relieved because you were able to.
She was still alive, And it was late. It was like midnight or 12:30. And I remember going to the kitchen. I can't believe I'm even talking about this, because sometimes I get choked up even bringing it up. It's very emotional.
Yeah, no, I know.
And I went into the kitchen to get something to drink. And at that time, I just said, you know what? Enough's enough. And I remember I got on my knee.
Damn.
Yeah. Brings you right back, man.
Yeah, I bet. Oh, Keita, you're gonna make me cry.
Anyway, I got on my knees. I was like, you know what? If you're going to take her.
Yeah.
I'm good with it. I walked out into the living room, and I went into her bedroom, and she stopped breathing.
Yeah. And look, that's young.
Yeah, and I woke my dad up, and I said, Dad, Mom just died. And he got up and gave me a big hug, and, that was just a tough time.
That's young.
Yeah, it was hard. 19 years old.
Is
Sucks.
stupid young. And I don't know if anybody who's watching has went through a similar thing, being young and losing either a parent or like a parent's big. Obviously, it's one thing to lose like, a grandfather or like a cousin or an aunt, but like a mom or a dad's like that hits big because that's like
tough.
Your creator.
I was so close with my mom, and I was close to my father too. But and then to lose my dad, years later from a
that was 2012, right?
2012, my dad died.
Yeah, that sucked.
Yeah, on the farm, but
he was healthy too. I always would tell people like we got good genetics.
Yeah, Dad's healthy as an ox. Really, he's 83, I think, when he died.
Yeah,
had an accident on the farm and killed him, and it was I think it was 2011 when he died. Actually,
yeah, he like never smoked, right? Never drank.
Smoked, never drank.
Yeah.
He was a good man. Everybody I ever ran into would talk about my dad when he was alive, even after he died, and whatever everybody would always say, he's a good man.
Yeah.
So I've kind of always said to you, I said, if people look at you down the road and they look back at you and they say, you're a good man, that's the best compliment anybody could ever give you.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah. And you said how your dad used to like preach to people, right?
My dad would always preach to people, always hand out, little tracts and stuff to people. And yeah, it was, my mom was the same way, obviously, being a pastor, preacher.
What was, this is like a good story I remember you told me about, like the whole, because obviously, remember that one time you said you went to go, you were with a girl, like your girlfriend at the time, and you like was like, she was getting her palm read.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was, so obviously, Christian upbringing, people reading your palms and reading tarot cards was something we really didn't believe in because, I was always taught that that's, really
like the devil.
Of the devil.
That's of the
it's
devil.
Not, you don't,
you look at the movies.
You don't go to a church and someone's in there, reading palms and reading tarot cards and telling you your future. So, that was something that my mom always told me. She's like, don't do anything has to do with that. You stay away from it. It's of the devil. If you open yourself to it, you're opening yourself to the devil, and you should never do that. Stay pure, stay holy. Always be on the side of Jesus Christ. But anyway, I was down in New Orleans.
Yeah.
I was down there with my girlfriend at the time. We went down for the Super Bowl, and it was, get this, dude. It was the Broncos and San Francisco. The quarterback for the Broncos was John Elway.
Oh.
The quarterback for San Francisco was Joe Montana.
Dang.
It was sick.
That's a good Super Bowl.
Yes, it was the best. It was in New Orleans. And I was down there for a dealer trip, and they brought in a bunch of people, and some of them were performers, and other ones were fortune tellers. So my girlfriend at the time, Steph, she's like, I want to get my palm read. And I'm like, I wouldn't do that. She said, well, you should do it. You should do it. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. And she kept on and on and on. So she goes up and does it, and I'm standing there. She says, you do it. So she gets hers read, and I don't even remember what they said. So I go up there to get mine read, and this was supposedly a really good person that I'm not really, I shouldn't say good person.
Who was good at doing
somebody
that.
good at what they do.
Yeah.
And so I go up, and she takes, I'll never forget this, dude. She takes my palm and opens my palm up. And the only thing I can think about in my head is what my mom would always tell me about it, right? So she takes my palm. She hesitates.
Yeah.
And says, I can't help you. You have to leave.
Yeah.
Swear to God.
Yeah. And I was
like, what? She's like, I'm sorry, I can't help you. You have to leave.
Yeah, the way I would say, because I agree that they're like demonic, or like a lot of these, like the astrology, like the crystals, like all that stuff is not of God, I don't believe. And I believe if it's not of God, then it's of I would say like the devil, or of someone who's trying to mislead you away from God to believe in other things of having like power. Like if you believe a crystal is going to do some shit to your life, like you're crazy. But anyways, that I believe like there was some type of like holiness involved where like you were protected, and she was obviously the biggest thing that scares a demon, or what scares a devil or any of his associates, is Jesus Christ.
It kind of freaked me out, really.
Yeah, but like what it says in the Bible is that we have the Spirit of God living within us when you accept God. So therefore, when a person who I'd say is evil is looking at you, they're looking at an image of God. So I feel like maybe that frightened her. That's the way I would explain it to myself, as being like, like more holy, or having, Jesus within you, and then them seeing that maybe scare them, or maybe they saw something that threatened the kingdom.
We walked away and we got into the elevator to go up, and I looked at Steph and I was like, see, I told you. Don't ever make me do that again. Yeah. She's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a wild time.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Confirmed that you don't do that. Don't put yourself in that situation.
Yeah. You always hate when because me and Abby like watching scary movies together, and I know you hate when I used to watch scary movies at the house, because you'd always say, don't open yourself
up to anything like that, because it's just, to me, that's how I was brought up. I mean, yeah. Yeah.
So guess next thing we'll kind of talk about, let's talk about when I started doing the video stuff, and I was working for you and Steve. I was cleaning cars for Browns.
Yeah.
And I remember I had that Verizon job for a little bit, which sucked. That was a scam.
That was a scam.
Yeah, I was getting finessed for that. And then I started. I
kind of figured that.
Yeah, I started doing the TikTok stuff 2020, somewhere around early 2020, because Steve told me to start doing the YouTube shit like November of 2019. December is when I started. Like, I think I posted my first workout video December of 2019.
Joey was pushing you to do it too.
Yeah, and I had a GoPro. I'd be recording in the home gym. We got new shit. Remember that we just got for Christmas the new stuff in the home gym, like the cable machine and everything. So I was working out a lot at home, and then luckily we got that right before COVID.
I know, no doubt.
Honestly,
you couldn't get that stuff later.
Yeah, it was perfect timing. Yeah. And then COVID started. I started doing this. I was still in school at the time. I finished up my HCC, which is my administration degree, and then I transferred to a school called University of Baltimore for business administration, like to pursue that, like get a bachelor's degree. And I was doing that while starting the TikTok stuff. And I remember I was doing a project, and I remember I was doing a big ass project. This is like, I forgot what it was, some business course. And I said to myself, I was like, I'm not doing this. I was like, this is dumb. This shit's stupid. Like, I'm not doing this anymore. And I exited out, and I never opened up one school program, whatever, ever again. I didn't even withdraw my classes. I had teachers emailing me, and I didn't tell you at first that I did it. I can't remember how exactly it transitioned. Do you remember it all? Like what happened? Like when I said I stopped school.
You did. You told me I stopped school
because I don't think I was making money yet.
You weren't making anything yet, and you said I stopped school, and you sat down with me in the family room and talked to me about what you wanted to do. And
I don't even remember that.
I do. I looked at you like, have you lost your mind?
Yeah.
You need to get a degree. You got to go to school. You got to do this. You got to finish what you started.
Mom was even worse. Mom was even more unsupportive of it.
But then you looked at me and you said, listen, Dad, this is something I really want to do while I'm young. And this is something that I want to try. If I'm going to do it, I need to do it now, right?
Yeah.
And
I think I said I always could come back to school if it didn't.
You did say that.
Work out.
So based on that, I was like, you know what? I need to really support what you want to do and believe in it. Yeah. I mean, I've done some things in my life that I, probably, wasn't the smartest things, but turned out to be the best things. Mm-hmm. So you have to believe in what you want to do. So I trusted you. I mean, I figured, you know what? If I don't, I need support. Excuse me. I need to support you. And I did. And surprisingly,
shit worked out.
You shocked the heck out of me. I mean, it took off quick.
Yeah.
I mean, really, to be honest with you, a lot quicker than I thought.
Yeah, I was getting the first sponsor, started making a little bit of money.
Yeah.
Which that little bit of money back then, I was like, damn, bro. I was like, I'm making a full 9-to-5 job just making fitness content. Now I'm looking back at that money, I'm like, that's nothing now.
Dude, I remember spring of last year. It was spring of last year that our neighborhood had a little get together.
Yeah.
And it was a happy hour, 5 o'clock happy hour, during COVID and yada, yada. And you had the Mach 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I was down there, and you came by, and one of the neighbors like, oh, your son does social media? I'm like, yeah. She said, well, what's his name? I told her, and she's looking you up because she didn't know you.
Yeah.
And she's looking you up. She's like, oh, he's got 100,000 followers. I was like, yeah, man, he's pretty big, right? Which is 100,000.
No,
huge.
that was that back. Yeah, was good.
But it's huge for anybody.
That was before like reels or anything too. I was a grinder, but I was a grinder back then.
Yes.
It's easier to grow followers now.
And she's like, oh, I got to follow him. And now
1.2 on Instagram.
I mean, in a year and a half.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
pretty crazy. I think it was a year ago I hit 100K. Like a month ago, I remember I saw my Snapchat memories. A year ago I hit 100K.
It was spring. It was like late spring.
It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy how fast it kind of happened.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like I adapted to it pretty well. And I saw, obviously like with the clout, and if you're able to I've been able to monetize myself well because of having my dad and then my manager Steve, which you guys have seen on the podcast, very business oriented people. So we've been able to capitalize, thank God, off of the opportunities given to me with having the platform. A lot of people get taken advantage of in this industry where like, if you don't have people who know how to talk business, or you can honestly have a bunch of followers and make no money. That's the issue with this. Like I know a lot of you guys watch probably want to try to do this for a living. And if you don't have that, a good team or and how to work deals, and brand deals, that's how I make my money. You could literally make if I didn't have Steve and my dad and I was doing shit by myself, I probably would be making 20% of what I've been able to make.
Steve's done a great job. I mean, he is.
Yeah, he's a dog.
He is a dog.
Steve be getting deals. Steve be getting paid.
But you know what? Steve's like a second son to me, and I'm like a dad to him.
Yeah, I feel like we should go into that. So just so you guys know, Steve is big. I would not have anywhere near the success that I do now if it was not for Steve. And that comes in terms of everything, like the followers, the money, just the support system overall. And again, I'm money driven. I'm driven to make a lot of money purely for the idea of having freedom. Money to me is freedom. Money isn't me going to buy Balenciaga shoes and nice shit like that. Yeah, I like cars. Cars are the only thing I like. Money to me is freedom that one day
I like cars a lot.
Yeah, that's what you got hella nice. You got more than me. I thought I had a car problem until you.
Cars, man.
Yeah, well, he runs a car. We grew up around cars. We grew up around.
I always had cars. Back in the day, man, back in the day in high school, I had the nicest car in high school.
Yeah.
And
what was it again?
I had a Camaro, but my Camaro was perfect. I mean, I kept that thing so. Unlike you, I keep my vehicles very clean. And my vehicle was and I had the nicest car in high school. At least I think it was a nice car in high school. Maybe they might not think like that. Yeah. I got my 40-year reunion coming up this Saturday.
Yeah. I can't wait to go to my 5-year. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. But, like you were saying, we do like our cars, man.
Yeah. You had that Z28, this 1969 Camaro orange with two white stripes going on the middle.
I've had so many cars over the... I've had Corvettes. I had 65 Corvette. I had 73 Corvette. I've had 69 Camaros. I've had 70 Camaros, Z28. I mean, you name it. I've had them.
Yeah. Big American muscle guy, obviously.
Big American muscle cars. Way.
So, yeah, that's where I get my car passion from. And again, like I said, I try to explain to people, the social media stuff that comes with money too. But I feel like I don't have an expensive taste. I feel like I live pretty humbly and I don't flaunt my money.
No, you don't. You don't.
Given it came quick. A lot of people, when it comes quick, they blow it quick. I feel like I save all my money.
I've probably got more cars now than I've ever had just because.
Yeah, you do. You got hella.
Well, right now, but I'm going to scale back. But I like cars. I mean, I'm single.
Yeah. No, life's too short to not
I'm
spend the money on what you want.
I work very hard.
Yeah.
I make good money doing what I do. But I work very hard for it, and I don't spend money. I don't go blow money on things. Yeah. And the cars are the one thing. The cars that I bought are investment cars. I mean, I bought them as an investment.
You can make money on the Shelby.
Everything I bought, I can make money on.
Yeah, in the Corvette, you can make a decent amount.
Good money on everything I own. So
yeah, I remember we was getting the Shelby because I got my Shelby before I sold it, my GT500 at the same deal, and you went back and got the track pack
a week later, right?
And I was saying, I was because I was contemplating buying. I was like, life's too short to drive a slow car. To me, I don't know. again, money is freedom. If I see something that I want and I like cars, I don't know what else I would ever spend money on other than my dream house and cars. That's the only two things I ever consider spending money on, to be honest.
I look forward to a dream house.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I was looking with Abby the other day. I was looking at like the barn dominiums. So the goal, if you guys understand, like, this is like literally the reason why I grind so much, like right now in content, more than I feel like I do more than majority of people in fitness industry. I mean, I'm doing the podcast. I'm doing 3 YouTube videos a week. I'm doing the Twitch. I go live every day on Instagram. Like, I literally try to make sure every single hour of my day is spent some way trying to grow my following to be able to capitalize off of it more, so that in the next 5 years, because you retire in 5 years, I want to be able to go to the farm too, move there in Lynchburg, nice ass farm, build my absolute dream house. We have a lot of family out there. I want a family. I want to have a family one day. We didn't really have the best family growing up.
Well, you turned out pretty good.
I did, but we didn't have a good family growing up. I know.
You still turned out good.
Yeah, but that's what I want to be able to live the life through my kids that I low key wish that I had growing up in terms of that family environment.
We have so much family in Lynchburg.
Yeah,
all
we do.
My cousins, and my aunts and uncles are there. TR,
good people
Christy,
too. The good country folk. So
they're all there. I mean, my dad's brothers and sisters are there.
Yeah.
Evelyn.
So the goal is to build the dream house on the farm in like 5 years. So that's why I do so much today, because I'm like, okay, if I sit down and I grind my ass off for 5 years, make as much money as I can, then maybe I can settle down, scale it back 50%. Obviously, still like run the businesses like Elysium, all that from like the farm. But like, I want to be able to I want to have freedom and like live the life that I want to live. And that's like my prime. Like, you guys asked, like, how do you stay so motivated? Like, that's literally it. I want to have a family one day. I want to have freedom. I want to be able to take them wherever I want to go. And that money is freedom. And I see opportunity through the social media stuff to help me get there quicker. And that's what I'm trying to do. And that's why I grind like I do. And obviously the benefit of coming at Sue is like being able to impact all these kids. Like, you've seen the impacts I've had on some of these kids.
I mean,
it's and that's fulfilling more than anything. That's just pretty fulfilling. I've had multiple people tell me that I saved their life. And that is crazy to me.
What you've done with your social media platform and touching people, getting people to get more active and working out is one thing. But touching people emotionally is just phenomenal. And the amount of people that you have brought to Christ through your social media platform, I got to tell you, bro.
Pretty crazy.
Man, if my mom and dad was alive today,
woo,
they'd be going crazy.
Yeah, and I remember
I'm proud of you. I mean, I'm proud of you.
This is a while back. You said, like, imagine when I go to heaven one day, being able to go to a room and see all the people that I helped plant the seed to bring to Christ, which could be like, there's a lot of you guys who tell me how I helped get you back into going to church or something like that. To me, like, that hits deep, because like I knew what it did for me, and I feel like we could actually even bring that up too. When I was going through all the bad shit that I was going through, you obviously didn't know how bad it was on me. How bad I was.
I knew that you
were going through.
You're right. I really never knew how bad you were.
Like, it was pretty bad at one point.
You had that outside shell that you showed that you were somewhat okay, but inside shell was just crying.
Yeah, it's bad.
It was bad, bro. I feel bad that I didn't see it the way that I probably should have. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know how I would have though.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty. I grew up an only child, so like I've been used to being able to stay relatively introverted. I just played video games, went to the gym, so it was easy for me to kind of hide it. And even with the social media shit, like I'm still good with it. I can be completely crushed on the inside, but knowing that I have to be on social media 24/7 and show myself, I can switch it. I can go live on Instagram, act normal for a little bit, and then go back to being down bad, which I've been able to do better with in the past. But I was always good at hiding it. But I remember like senior year of high school is when it started to get really bad, and then I think I got on the medication the year after senior year, because I threw up. I got sick my graduation morning, and that's kind of what really started getting bad. Because first I was already dealing with I was dealing with the depression and loneliness throughout high school, and then after that, my graduation that summer is when the anxiety started getting bad. So it was depression, and then anxiety came on top of it with the derealization, the panic attacks, pulling over on the side of the road, throwing up.
It was rough. It was rough.
That shit was ass. I always would say, if you cannot explain the feeling of bad anxiety to somebody who has never went through it before in their life, I would
agree with that.
And I would say too, if you suffer with derealization and bad anxiety, it is just as bad as some significant illnesses. Like it obviously got bad enough to where I literally was saying how I wanted to kill myself, because it was so fucking I hated it. It was just the fact that I had to suffer and deal with that shit almost on a daily basis was just like, yo, this is like, I just wanted to be normal. I'll just say that. I just wanted to be normal.
Okay, but hold on for a second. Everything that you went through, no one can understand what it's like unless you've been through it yourself.
Yeah.
I can tell somebody, hey, a panic attack is no big deal unless you've had one.
Yeah.
If you've had one, then you know what it's like.
Yeah.
And you know how to talk them out of getting, around it. Mm-hmm. But the fact that you went through all of that, that you've been able to understand what it's like and talk to people about it.
Yeah.
It's not like you're some doctor that read it in a book.
Yeah.
You experienced it for your own.
And it's honestly, and I always say this is why I'm so big on the faith in my platform. It's a miracle to see where I was. I'd say it was really like peak of it was probably like end of 2018 to around 2019.
I would agree.
Was peak when my shit was I was messed up in the head and it was just bad. It just wasn't good. I wasn't going nowhere good. To go from there to being, honestly, even 2021 was a good year for me. Obviously, like to go from that to there to now. That's a pretty short period of time. The growth and like I think it's absolutely insane how God's been able to take me from there at my lowest and to use me for millions of people to see.
Honestly, you couldn't have done it without the miracle of God in your life.
That's what I try, and that's
There's
why
no
I
way.
explain
There's no
to
way.
people.
There's no way. Any doctor, medicine, I'm not knocking the doctors, that prescribe medicine, but I will tell you that what I've seen in you, what Christ did to you in your life was a miracle.
Yeah. Bro, I remember they had me on meds, and I remember I had them taking me. I was taking anxiety meds, and I said, bro, I don't want to live the rest of my life to a pill. To have to take a pill that's gonna make me feel normal. So I remember I stopped taking it cold turkey, and it was a little hard, but I pushed through. And I remember I started listening to Shine FM. It was a worship station in our state. When I was on the way to like HCC, which is my community college at the time. And that's when I started getting into the worship music stuff, and I played guitar and sang a little bit, so I would play that. And the worship music is always what brings me back. Anytime I like sway away from God, if I put just like my worship playlist on, and I know the lyrics to every single song, so it's like the lyrics are almost my version of praying. So that is what brought me back, and that's what like helped me and made me like more interested in the faith, was like the fact that I loved the music so much. So then I started like watching the pastors online. I'd watch a lot of like apologetic stuff. You ever see like the debates I would watch in the house?
Right.
A lot of the debates versus atheists, because I'm very logical, so I want to make sure what I'm believing in, like I'm definitely believing it, and I have faith and I have logic to understand and back it up, so that I can explain it to other people. And I always found like pleasure in telling other people about it, and pleasure in like even debating people who didn't believe with it. I love the idea of talking about something like that, because I saw what it did for me, and if it can do it for me, then it can do it for other people too. So that's why I'm so open about it on my platform. And then seeing the byproduct of that by me being open, and then somebody meeting me in real life, being like, yo, because you did this on your platform and you were open about this and I related to it, I'm going back to church, or I just got baptized, or I'm getting baptized today. I've seen people say that. I'm like, bro, that's crazy.
Testimony.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely insane. If you guys haven't seen, I have 2 testimony videos. I definitely think the last one was probably the best. I was very intimate on that one. I was very open, vulnerable. But yeah, and like it's just crazy, and like I hate all like, and some people try to like show how like the Christianity stuff is like not cool, or like it's like because people are afraid to be open about it because they think they're going to be judged, or they think it's not the cool thing to do, to believe in a God. That's, you know what I mean?
I've always talked to people, that I know that don't believe in God, and I've always told them that, like, I don't believe in God, there's no such thing, and blah blah blah, and I'm like, listen, buddy. I said, you're better off to go through life believing in something, find out in the end you're right, than to go through life not believing in something, and in the end, wish you did.
Yeah, like you lose. Yeah,
I mean, seriously,
and you lose nothing to, and it's crazy, especially in today's societies. Like people almost get offended by the idea of faith, and I understand why. It's because by being open to the fact that there's a God is showing that you have to have accountability, and it shows that you're almost submitting to that higher power. And a lot of people don't want to do that because they want to be their own gods. They want to do what they want to do, and they don't want to have to submit to anybody. That's the society that we live in, and that you can see that even going through society and media of certain narratives changing to go kind of whatever you feel is right. You just do, and then everybody's supposed to agree with that and say, yeah, that's the way to go. That's okay. And then by me being open about my faith and like the fundamental things I was brought up on, me being open about that puts me to risk to be like canceled. especially with me and having like social media, it's kind of messed up that I can't really give my direct opinion on certain things, although it is something that I believe through my faith, because it's not the popular thing in this
it's
social
not always
media now.
about you and what people think. It's the only thing that really matters is between you and God.
Yeah, but sometimes I wonder, like, because God's given me such a big platform, could I be using it more to further His kingdom in terms of, yeah, I'm going to stand up on this issue that is a little touchy, like whatever it may be, because I'm not. The reason why I'm not is I'm scared. I'm scared of being canceled.
In some cases, the stand up for an issue is one thing, but I think the best thing that you can do is just what you've been doing. Really, I mean, you talk about it, you proclaim it, you live it, you breathe it,
yeah,
and you preach it. And whether or not they want to listen to you or not is entirely up to them. The people that do, and then it changes their life for the good, it's a miracle on their end.
Yeah.
It truly is. I mean, it's like I used to tell you all the time about being in the grocery store line, right? What I always tell you. Remember what I told you?
What about the line?
I always told you as a kid when you're growing up. And I was telling your buddy Ramirez this, who was here last
the kid I flew
great.
out.
Yeah. I was telling him and his buddy. I told him, I said, hey, when Alex was young, and I still do this today, and Steve will tell you, I do it. He sees me do it all the time. But if I'm in line in a store, I always make a point, and I told you this, to acknowledge.
Yeah.
Remember this?
Yeah.
What did I tell you to do?
What, to like acknowledge the person? And
acknowledge the person that's in front of you, or that's helping you, or the people behind you.
Yeah.
Because you never know what kind of
somebody's
day
going through,
that person's having. And just that one person that acknowledges them can change the trajectory of their life. Because that person might be thinking about offing themselves.
Yeah.
No one cares. No one loves me. No one acknowledges me. And one person that acknowledges them can change their life for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
So remember that.
True.
Remember that. When you're out and about, talk to people, acknowledge them, and be kind. Because it's a lot easier to be kind to people than to be a total jerk off.
Yeah, there's too much hate in this world today.
Way
obviously.
too much hate.
It's
Smile. You see people smile, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you're lucky. You're lucky to be alive.
Yeah, so people need to learn to have more gratitude. I agree. It's sad.
It's like people, when someone's sick, they think about all the things they want to do and all the things they would like to be doing, and then when they get well, they forget about what it felt like to be sick.
That's very true. I try to remind myself that.
You know what I mean?
That's a simple way of having gratitude. And one of the things that I learned too with helping out with the anxiety, for example, is like there's like a study on this that the chemical reactions that your brain gives off when you have gratitude, it cannot exist at the same time the chemicals that are given when there's anxiety. So you cannot experience the feelings of gratitude and anxiety at the same time in your brain. So if you're having issues with anxiety, if you can find a way to, honestly, at first it might be forced to try to learn to be grateful for everything else, but over time your subconscious mind will learn to release these endorphins and stuff to feel this feeling of gratitude. And then because you have so much gratitude, you will literally not be able to feel anxiety. It's like a literal chemical thing they did in the brain. It's kind of
believe
cool.
that.
So yeah, if you're struggling with that, check that out. Let me think of something else to talk about. I thought this, I don't know why I just thought of this, but like how you explain how like in the past, when you explain like the 80s and stuff to me, it seems like so much like obviously I love social media because it's what allowed me to make my job. But when you would explain the 80s to me, I feel like I belonged in that time period growing up. When you would tell me about like when you guys would drive to like different places.
Oh, dude, the 80s, that was so cool back then. I mean, growing up in the 80s, nothing like it, man. I mean, we didn't have cell phones. We had some video games, but nothing crazy like you have today. But big thing for us back in the day was cruising. We all had our cars. We'd go to certain places and cruise. We'd leave and hang out in the parking lot there and chit-chat. People would show up. We'd leave there, go to another place and cruise, or we'd go to the roller skating rink and go roller skating, go to the McDonald's and hang out in the McDonald's parking lot. It was a simpler time, to be honest with you, back then. It's like when you watch the show. I mean, it's an old show, so this is going way back. But if you watch like Happy Days and you watch, you don't even know what I'm talking about.
No.
But it's a show. It was an old show that was on TV back in the 70s, and it was about life in the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Richie Cunningham, Happy Days, Potsy, if you ever look it up, Happy Days. You can watch it on TV. But anyway, it was similar to that, but with just more modernized.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
It seemed pretty cool.
It was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I still listen to the 80s rock and roll in my car and just
it seemed like
takes me back.
Life was just different back then. Even like movies that like show like 80s vibes like seems like dope. I don't know. I like the
Back
vibe
to the
of
Future.
It just seems like cool with the malls you were talking about too. Like the malls were like the spot.
Real. It was the spot to go.
Like I go to the mall now, it's trashy as shit. I don't even want to go to the mall.
Dude, we went to the mall back in the day to meet girls.
Yeah.
I mean, before we were 16 and had our cars.
Yeah.
But we'd get our parents to drop us off at the mall. We just walk the mall and meet girls. That's what we all did.
It seems so much more simpler back then.
It was simpler.
And I think a reason why it's not today is obviously because, like I said, social media has been a blessing to me. But I think that a big reason why society's going to complete absolute dog shit is because of social media, and because of these like social media apps being skewed towards a certain narrative that is changing how people. I don't know. It's just like I hate what it's doing. I low key wish we could go back to a time to where it was like no phones and like you had to actually interact with people. I feel like there's a lot of hate partially because of the social media shit. Just like being able to like have everything at your phone.
Yeah,
there's no need to even try to have conversations, or like you just see so much negative shit on your phone all the time that like your subconscious mind is convinced to always be negative.
You were forced to talk to people when you didn't have phones. High school, back when I was in high school, I graduated in 82. Let me tell you, high school was fun.
I hated high school.
Dude, it was fun. I enjoyed high school.
Yeah, you said.
Now, don't get me wrong. I was ready to leave. you
Yeah.
know, I didn't like all the homework, but to be in high school back then was fun. I remember walking through the hallway, my senior year, and everybody's like, "Oh man, I can't wait to get out of here." And I thought to myself, "Man, I'm gonna miss this one day. I'm gonna look back at this and say, I wish I was back here because life was simpler." And when you left high school, it's like, okay, now you're leaving high school. You're either going to college or you're going to work
to a real job.
It's like your life is changing and you have to grow up.
Yeah,
Who wants to grow up?
Yeah, I was
Right?
talking. I forgot who I was talking this about, but it was like the life when I was in like high school and in like the beginning of college was so like I had nothing to worry about, but just like the homework and then playing video games to go to the gym. Like now that I'm obviously like still new to this like adult world shit. Like I have my own place now and all that, but like it's like damn, like I have to worry about so much shit to make sure I like make money. It's very money driven because I want to make sure I get this stuff done early so I can have like the rest of my life I guess to relax. So obviously you went a different route, like you. And I obviously preach against stuff like this, which is like the 9 to 5, which I don't like because I know I could never do it. And obviously you've done it your pretty much your whole life.
I love what I do. I actually love my job.
Did you like it at first though?
It was
the upbringing had to not have been as fun.
what working in doing what I did
when you're on the lower levels of.
You know what? Sometimes it wasn't fun, but you know what? I found myself being good at it.
Yeah.
So I did somewhat enjoy it.
Yeah.
I made good money doing it, but I love my job, man. It's not. If you love your job, it's not a job. Do you like your job?
Yeah, no, I'm loving it. I think I take it very seriously to where like sometimes it does get really stressful, but I don't have to. It's just I'm a perfectionist.
You like your job?
Yeah, I'm blessed.
And it's not really a job.
Yeah, sure.
If you truly if you truly like what you do, hey, for all y'all out here, if you like what you do, it's not always going to be a job. Hey, you love it's great to get paid, right? We all want to get paid.
Yeah.
But if you enjoy doing it, I mean, you don't wake up in the morning and say, "Oh God,
that's
I got to go back to work. I got to go into work today." You're watching your clock, waiting until 5 o'clock to get the heck out of there.
That's not a way to. That's
not a way to live, man.
That's an awful way to live. I always preach against.
If you enjoy
that.
it goes by fast.
Yeah, and because I have a bunch of kids who I went to college with now who are starting to get legitimate jobs. A lot of them like computer science stuff. Like they're trying to
if they like it.
But I don't think they think they're if you're sitting at a desk doing some computer science shit for 8 hours. Some
people might really like it, dude.
I know, but there's a lot who probably won't. They're just doing it for the money. I know a lot of the kids.
Some people make
I
the
went to high school with.
Some people sacrifice the money and the time to get the retirement. Blah blah blah.
I don't think it'll ever be worth that because this is why I preach against it so much. Is it's like, and this is what society teaches, is that you have to go to school to get good grades, and then you go to a college, just put yourself in thousands, tens of thousands, maybe even $100,000 worth of college debt to learn. If you're at least, I understand if you're doing like a health or science, medical field, all that stuff. Well, let's say a lot of the kids I was in school with are doing like these business majors. You're going to learn to how to run a business from someone who's never even ran a successful business before, and just giving them thousands of dollars to do it, right? And you're just learning some simple like cookie cutter shit just to be put in debt to go out to get a mediocre ass job, 9 to 5, still in debt. Working your ass away every single day, hating it, being miserable, just so that when you turn 60 years old, when you're A lot older, can't do the shit you wanted to do. I know you're old. I'm not saying you.
What?
Can you think can you do the same shit you did when you were 20? No.
No, but I can do a hell of a lot more than most people my age.
I know. I'm just saying. But like, this is what I'm explaining. Like,
I try and stay in good shape.
Your whole life away. Like you're working like 2/3 of your life away doing that 9 to 5 under somebody. You're literally like a slave to that work field, whatever you're in. Especially if you hate it, it's even worse.
If you
just
hate
when
it,
you're 60, then you have freedom to do what you want. If you even can call it that. To me, that's not. And I'm happy I understood this quick. And again, books I recommend. Outwitting the Devil is a great book. It helped me understand. It's already a way that I thought, and it kind of just validated my thinking process of these people who kind of agree to that. And they think like sheep. They don't think that they can do something different. I'm happy I was able to break out of it so early to where I know now I'm not going to ever have to do that ever again. And that is an amazing and blessed feeling to know that my life is in obviously God's hands, but it's also what I'm able. It's not in some 9 to 5 CEO guy's hands. It's in God's, and it's in what I'm able to do with the platform that's been given to me. And that's based on how much, if I put in a lot of work, if I blow up this Elysium stuff, if I do well with my content and I get more people to support my codes and and get more sponsors, then that's like, you see what I'm saying? Like mine's not, I got to go to work and just work and hope I get a promotion one day. My shit's on what I do and what God blesses. So I like that a lot more.
I'd agree with that, but I don't think I am where I am today unless I had God on my side either, though.
Yeah, I
think I've touched a lot of people over the years that's worked with me.
Yeah.
Because I try and treat everybody really, really well, like family that works for me. I mean, a lot of them are.
Yeah.
So look at Stevie.
I know. Shout out, you wouldn't know I've met Steve.
Yeah, Steve started with me when he was 16 years old.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. And I've got a lot of other people that work for me that have been with me forever.
Yeah, Steve's one of the hardest working people I've ever met in my life.
Ass off.
He's a grinder. He's a hustler. That's what
he is. A hustler.
Steve is a hustler. Steve he be doing anything to make money.
He is a worker. He is a worker.
He'd be chasing that bag.
He's chasing it. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Just gotta grind.
Oh, one thing. You still haven't been baptized.
I have not been baptized.
That's crazy. Is there no reason why? You wish you did it when your dad was alive, you said.
I wish I had done it.
I think, wasn't I pushing you to do it too?
I should have did it when Dad was alive.
There's no reason your mom never pushed you to do it?
My mom never pushed me to do it. She says, she always told me, she says, you should get baptized. She said, but, you'll know when you should get baptized.
Mm-hmm. Was it like nervous? Are you nervous to get in front of all the people?
Very nervous to get in front of a lot of people.
I think that's today, what it is for you, yeah.
It's very, I don't have a problem getting in front of talking to some people, small groups.
Yeah.
But to get in front of a lot of people like that, I have a hard time getting in front of a lot of people.
You can probably do a private one on Mosaic. But like, remember when I got mine? I'd know if you were in that position, you'd probably cry or something.
Oh, I'd straight up be crying, dude.
Yeah.
I get emotional. I was looking earlier. I talk about my parents, too. And I get teary-eyed.
I'm the same way. I get emotional. That's why I get it from you.
I would have a very hard time getting in front of people. To me,
I know that's why you haven't done it yet.
To me, I'd rather go to the farm and have a preacher come out there and baptize me in the creek.
That'd be kind of dope. That'd be cool.
It sounds crazy, but to me, that would be. that was our family's farm,
Yeah, it's the reason why, like, because I don't believe in you needing baptism isn't a necessity. There's like.
Doesn't matter where you are.
Yeah, well, I'm saying it's baptism by when you say I accept Jesus as my Lord and Savior in my heart, audibly out loud to Him, not like I'm not in the water. If you just say that, like you're saved. I believe in that. I believe baptism is being a public display of your faith, and because Jesus did it, we also should do it. I don't believe it's a necessity to go to heaven.
I don't think it's a necessity to go to heaven. No,
but I believe it's a good way to show your faith. It's a good way of
being obedient.
Yes,
because Jesus did it, and Jesus would like for you to get baptized. It talks about in the Bible.
Yeah,
but will I do it one day? Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
probably. I'd say so.
Should have Jonathan do it.
I've thought about it.
I'm going to see him tomorrow night. I'm going to go meet with him and his wife.
That's cool. I've thought about getting it done lately, but I don't know. To me, I'd probably want to get it done at the farm. Be honest with you, my dad's pastor down at the farm. Maybe Pastor Jim is his name, and have him come over to the farm and baptize me. That's probably the way I'd do it.
Yeah.
Me in the creek, and the cows watching.
Yeah, that'd be dope. Huh. Well, that's it. We wrap it up. 45 minutes. It's like a solid pod. I'm gonna go watch. I gotta go finish this Lego set. Yo, shout out everyone who's been caught me Lego sets. I know. So I had some people hating. They're like, "Yo, like, why don't Alex? Why don't you buy yourself, bro? If you want to buy me a Lego set, and then that to you is like your ticket to like come into Exile, and I'll go get a workout with you." That's why I was like trying to find a way to like do an exchange. They're coming to Exile. I'm gonna go get a workout with them, and I can like hang out with them.
You've always loved Legos, dude.
Yeah. So I'm like, and some of them are expensive. I'm not trying to spend that much on a Lego set. So these kids like. He bought me, and this is crazy. You do not have to do this. He bought me a $900 Lego Star Wars, or the Death Star.
Somebody really shouldn't do that.
But that's crazy though.
But they shouldn't want to do that.
I know, but like it's crazy to me. Like they support me. So like he was telling me like, yo, he was like, you've done so much for me, and like he said he wanted to give back by doing that.
I think that's awesome, but. For those of you out there, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, I'll take it. Then I'm gonna build it after I finish this cantina. Oh, shout out everybody! We got the Vader's Castle. We got the cantina.
What they ought to do is donate to your church for you.
That's better.
That would be better, really. I mean,
I feel convicted now.
You should.
Yeah. I got Lego sets instead of
I mean,
Jonathan, I'm actually talking to I'm going to see my pastor tomorrow. Him and his wife.
He's a good dude.
Yeah, and Abby's gonna go with me.
Carl was cool. I like Carl.
Carl was great. But Jonathan and his wife's gonna talk to me and Abby and give us some like tips and try to help out. And then I've been talking to Jonathan for a minute about the whole like giving to church. Trying to find a way to financially give more is something that I need to work on as a Christian, and I'm really working on that. Because I'm blessed. So
you're extremely blessed.
Yeah. Well, what is the outro music? I can't remember which one it is.
All right, what are you gonna play here?
Nope.
Wah wah wah.
All right, this is the outro. I always forget. All right, well, that's it for the video. If you guys enjoyed it, this is gonna be on Spotify and YouTube. Make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube, The Lions Den Podcast. And we are now on Spotify.
Come here.
The Lions Den Podcast is now on Spotify. I know you got a lot of you guys are asking for it. Apple Podcast, not yet. Maybe eventually, but right now we're on Spotify. So you're gonna go check it out and go follow it. Give us a 5-star review. It'd be much appreciated. Again, I'm trying to do these episodes once a week, once every 2 weeks. But yeah, that's it. Love you guys. Till next time. Peace out.